started. Welcome to Best Practices for Using Logic in PowerApps. I'm Laura Rogers, and real quick about me. I'm not going to spend too much time. I'm a Microsoft MVP, and I have a company called IW Mentor where we do SharePoint and PowerApps training. Now, my background, I did InfoPath for years and love workflows and forms and form logic. And so this session is, you've seen a lot of high level, I'm sure, what is PowerApps type of sessions this week. But this is going to be getting into the nitty gritty with functions and formulas specifically around form controls. So we're going to talk a little bit at first about controls and properties today, and then get into the way the form control works in PowerApps and a lot of form logic. So that's what we're mainly going to be focused on, the form control. So thank you all. You all are pretty hardcore being out here at the very end of the conference. We have no other sessions in this room after this. So it's a 45-minute session, but I'm going to do Q&A after that 45 minutes is over if you guys want to stick around for that. So I'll go ahead and get started. And this is going to be fairly fast-paced because I have a ton that I want to show you guys. So first we're going to talk about controls and properties and do just a little bit of fairly high level just to get a little bit of level set here before we dig too deep. So controls, of course, are on the Insert tab in PowerApps. These are all of the different things you can put in your PowerApp that can be interacted with, like text boxes and buttons and shapes and icons. We have several different ways to change the control's properties. Now, every single different control in PowerApps has a long list of properties, and different types of controls have different properties, and they slightly differ. A lot of them there are some core properties that a lot of them do have that are the same, though. But, this interface can be a little overwhelming when you first start using it because they present you so many different ways to pretty much do the same thing. So they're presenting it all over the screen in different places, but it's really just different ways to do the same thing. When you select a control in PowerApps, you can edit all these different properties of it. So you have this formula bar at the top of the screen where you can select a control, pick a property, and you have the pretty little UI properties panel down the right, which does the exact thing. It's targeted to kind of, easy mode for business users. And then you have the advanced pane further on the right, which is also the same set of properties, but just in more of a bare bones kind of just long list of properties that you can work with. So the main thing we'll be talking about today is the form control. So this is the control for user input. When PowerApps first came out, I don't know if you guys had kind of played around with it back then, but there wasn't a form control. If you wanted to have forms in your PowerApps, you had to individually insert text boxes and buttons and drop-downs and just do this ugly thing called patching. That was the only way to submit information to SharePoint. So the form control is a nice, easy, business user-y kind of way to just plop a whole form on a screen in PowerApps and start selecting which controls you'd like to have on it. So this is just where you can visually design what your form looks like and check the boxes to pick which fields you'd like to have on your form. And each of these different fields, the way they're arranged on the form, those are called cards, and we're going to get a little bit more into cards. So in order to put a form control in your app, it is actually a control that you insert. Now, when you've customized a SharePoint list to just directly from SharePoint to customize it in PowerApps, you already it just gives you a Power App already with the form control in it. But this is actually just a control that you can insert on any screen in any Power App that is just along with all of the other controls to insert. All right, I'm going to go ahead and do a quick demo of creating a form. Let me switch over here. Okay, so this is going to be the easy way of creating a form where you can go, this is just a SharePoint list called an issue list. And you go to the PowerApps button and choose Customize Forms. And that is going to take your SharePoint list and create an app for you. And this app, of course, becomes the default form for that list from then on. But it gives you this nice, pretty interface where you have a form control on an app, and you can check the boxes next to the different fields that you'd like shown on your form. And it simply adds them down the page. You can uncheck them, etc. So all this is pretty easy. So that is just the quick demo of customizing a SharePoint list form. The other way of creating an app and putting a form on it is to create a standalone app. So when I just go to web.powerapps.com, I can go to apps here. And when I create a standalone app, there are a good bit of benefits to it. The ability to have a transportable app that you can export and take off as a zip file and take it to another environment. A lot more functionality as far as being able to make a copy of it and do things like that and move it. So let me go ahead and do a blank app here. I'll do a tablet layout, start from scratch. The main benefit, pretty much the only benefit of doing a customized list form directly in the SharePoint list is that then it becomes the default form when anyone is using that list. So this is just a blank app. So when I start from scratch, I actually have to go add a data source and go add SharePoint in here and pick my site. And then when I pick my site, I can pick one or more lists in my site. So in this case, I'm going to pick just the exact same list. And this is just showing you a different way that's a little bit harder. It's not, all built in for you, but a different way of building an app with a form on it. So then I have, of course, this blank canvas, and I can insert a form here. And I'm inserting an edit form. And I have to pick my data source. It picks the issue list. And then this is, again, where it takes the issue list and puts all the fields on it. And I can remove them if I'd like. And just, again, from scratch here, building a form. All right, so I'll go ahead and go back to the slides now that you've seen a couple of different ways to create a form. All right, so I mentioned the cards on the form. The cards on the form these are the fields. So this is the way Microsoft built in these little sections, not really sections, but little sort of sets of controls throughout your form that are called cards. So a card consists of the label, which is the word above, the text box or whatever it is. The input is going to be different depending on what type of field it is, such as a date field or a drop-down or a text box. It automatically is going to know that and put that type of field there. And then, of course, you select the data source, select the number of columns for your layout, and check the boxes. But each card includes a label and either a value or input field in there. Okay, a little bit more about cards. We have, of course, checkboxes to add a card. You can drag them to arrange them. You can drag them up and down in that right panel on the screen, and you can also drag them around right there visually in the interface. That was broken for a while. It didn't work. You couldn't drag them around on the form, but now magically it works now, so you can do that. And then you can drag the widths of the cards to make them, if you have a notes field that you need to be wider, you can drag it to make it bigger. You do have this nice, pretty interface that gives you this easy interface that you see on the screen, but if you want to customize it further and really start doing some of the advanced things we're going to show you today, you can unlock that card. And unlocking the card just means that it's opening up some of the extra properties in there so that they're not read-only anymore. And it's just basically Microsoft making you take an extra step to let you know that you're customizing this card further than out of the box. You can, if you mess it up, like I've done this before, I've customized a card and then completely broken it and just done all kinds of crazy things, you can just delete it and re-add it. So it's not like a permanent issue if you mess up a card. When you have your cards on your form, you have this hierarchy. So the reason I'm explaining to you the hierarchy and the controls is that this hierarchy is important to understand when you start really doing some advanced things with properties and logic that we're going to be talking about. So this is a tree structure. You have the screen at the top is the parent, and in this case, we have a form. Now, if you have a gallery, you're going to have the same thing. It's also a child of your screen, and the gallery has controls inside of it too. But the form is the next level down, and then the card, each card is the next level, and then the controls in the card, like the label and the data field, those are children of it. So you have the parent, and then child, and then sort of grandchild, so it goes down, and the controls inside of this tree inherit things from their parent. So that's important to know. All right, next we're going to talk about some concepts and logic in here. By the way, if you would like this whole slide deck, you can email me at Laura. It's the bottom of the slides, laura.rogers@iwmentor.com. Put BRK2282 in the subject, and it will instantly, I've got a flow, it will instantly email you the PDF of these so you can follow along if you like. I see a lot of people taking pictures of your screens, but you just email me and it will just send you the slides. All right, so whatever is typed in this box is a formula. That's the box at the top of the screen. And a formula can have more than one function inside of it. You can get pretty crazy and advanced. You could see a pretty long, complicated one at the bottom. Just a little small tip here, when you're dealing with these larger functions, if you select a parentheses, it will automatically highlight the corresponding parentheses, so you can, as you're troubleshooting your logic and your formulas, so you'll be able to tell kind of where things are happening or where a parenthesis might be missing. Now that I've explained a little bit about the parent-child relationship and the way controls work, we're going to start getting more specific about forms and the functions that you use in forms. So to interact with a form, you can't just plop a form control on a screen and have it automatically know that it's supposed to be a new form or an edit form. You actually have to send a command to that form. So for example, and you can see in this top example, I have a new button. And the new button is just, I create a little plus icon, and I said this is going to be the new button. And you can see the command here. So not only do I have to navigate to the screen that has the form on it, I have to do the new form command. And notice in the next one down, I have a list of projects in a gallery, and I have an icon on each project that is going to take me to edit that form. So then I do an edit form command and navigate. So notice that I did the navigate and then edit form, navigate. It's pretty much doing both of those pretty quickly, almost at the same time. So in this case, it doesn't really matter the order as long as it does both of those things. There's actually a new concurrent function you could use if you really wanted to make it efficient and run multiple things at the exact same instant. So I'm clicking to edit a form, so that will take me to the form and put it in edit mode, or I can do this last one and have an icon that will just take me to the view form function to view an existing form. All right, a little bit more about form functions and modes. We have the form functions that exist are down the left, but these first three are the ones that you need to send to the form to tell it what mode to be in, whether it's creating a new one, editing existing one, etc. So mode, you have new, edit, and view, and if you've been using SharePoint for years, you probably are familiar with the new form, edit form, display form. In SharePoint, same exact concept. So you have noticed in this little formula box up here, I have FRM new customer, that is what I named my form control. So that's the name of the form, and so I do name of the form dot mode. So to be able to reference and figure out what mode the form is in, that's where I can get to that. So new, edit, and view are those three modes. But it gets a little confusing because then you have this thing called a display mode. So form modes are actually not the same thing as display modes. So I know this is a little confusing, so that's what I'm trying to break this down because it's important to understand what these are and how they interact with each other to be able to start doing your logic. So when you send a new form, so in this case, the name of my form is form edit customer. And so when I send the new form command to this form control, it is going to put the display mode as edit. When I send edit form, it's also going to put the display mode as edit. And then when I am viewing the form, the display mode will be view. Probably even more confusing now. So, but again, I'm trying to break this down even further. So the default display mode is inherited from the parent form, but you can unlock a card if you want to edit the display mode. So this is why I wanted to explain the parent-child concept to you, because each card, when you start needing to do logic on your specific fields in the form, each card is going to have this default of the parent display mode. So it helps to understand what the parent display mode is to be able to do logic on it. So I can unlock a card. You can see the parent.display mode is over on the right in the advanced properties of this particular project start card that I've selected. All right, so here are some examples of display modes. This is what they visually look like. So the display modes are edit, view, and disabled. Now, in the table that I showed you a few minutes ago, edit and view were the only ones that automatically get used when you're sending the form commands. But disabled is something you can use as part of your logic. So that's one of the ones that it's up to you to, if you need something to be disabled, that's something where you can go use that mode in the logic, if this, then disabled, or, that kind of thing. So edit is you can see visually what they look like. So you can see that I can edit this calendar control, and I can see that it gives me the calendar picker. View is just showing them the date that's in a certain field. And then disabled, you can tell that it's all grayed out. Now, this is important to note. You probably wonder what's the difference between view and disabled. Both of them kind of give you the same result, right? Someone can't edit the field. Well, disabled is actually a little bit better because it gives you the ability to change the colors. So there's a whole set of colors in the properties of these things that are called like disabled color, disabled fill, disabled border. So you can do logic and use that and have certain colors set up to have it look different when it's disabled. So in this case, the disabled color was just white, which is why it looks that way. So again, that's the main difference between view and disabled. Okay, so our next section here is now that we've talked about all these sort of components that it helps to understand, the controls, the cards, the parent-child, now we'll talk about how to take those properties and do conditions on them to make your forms more interactive, put some logic in there. If you guys, anybody coming from InfoPath? Yeah, some of you. So coming from InfoPath, you're used to putting rules on things, so now we're going to get more into the completely different way of doing that in PowerApps. It's funny, PowerApps is funny because they give you a lot of these easy out-of-the-box things like putting a form control, picking the cards, but it's like you're jumping off a cliff once you decide that you want to start doing logic because it's so drastically different than what you're used to. It's definitely a learning curve. So this is the display mode example. So parent.display mode equals edit. Cards inherit the parent display mode. So in this case, I have the customer status field, and the display mode is inherited from the parent. and it is edit. This is an edit form. But in this second screenshot, I unlocked the card so that it would let me edit the display mode, and I simply typed in the display mode property, display mode.view. Therefore, now this particular field is always going to be in a view mode. It's always just going to be read-only no matter what. Sometimes you just want to show the status of, of whatever your request is or whatever your form is without necessarily letting people edit it. So here's where we start doing logic, and to me this is my favorite part of this session, is showing you how this logic all works. So in this particular example, the goal is that if it is a new form, we do this a lot, don't we? We do a lot of different things for new forms compared to forms that already exist. So sometimes we show certain fields if it's a new form, or give certain people things they can edit if it's a new form. So this is the customer status is read-only if it's a new form. That is the requirement. So here's what the syntax looks like. If form new, it's called, this name of this form control is called form new customer. So if the form new customer mode equals new, so this is the syntax. It can't be in quotes. New can't be in quotes. It's just type the word new. If form new customer.mode equals new, then make the display mode.view. Otherwise, make the display mode.edit. So if you are familiar with Excel and you've used Excel conditions, the if statements, and other programs, this is the exact same syntax that you use in if statements in your in PowerApps. And just keep in mind, in this case, I have the entire card, so you could select the whole card, or you could select little specific controls inside of the card. Here's another example. In this case, I want the customer status to be disabled if the currently logged in user is not a manager. That is my goal. So in this case, I am using another data connection called Office 365 users. And that is where I can get information, detailed information about any of my users, including, of course, the currently logged in user. The logic that I happen to be using in this case is, how do I determine if you're a manager? I'm really just looking to see if you have direct reports under you in our organization structure. So you could do other logic, say the job title contains the word manager, and kind of other, however you have your organization set up in AD that would tell you that someone is a manager. But in this case, we have if empty. So direct reports in here is the way that it structures that data that you get from your directory, is direct reports as a list of people. So I say, if it's empty, the list of direct reports of the currently logged in user, then the display mode is disabled. Otherwise, the display mode is edit. So if it's empty, you don't have any direct reports, that means you're not a manager, so therefore this field will be disabled. Make sense? It's fun stuff. All right, here's another example. So now we talked about the mode so far, and just disabled versus view versus edit. So next, another big common thing that we do in our logic is the visibility. So with visibility, this lets you show and hide things. Every single type of control in PowerApps has a visibility property, and this is very powerful. Visibility is always just going to be equal true or false. So anytime you do logic having to do with visibility, the result of your if statement simply needs to equal true or false. So the goal here in this particular example is the hours used field should only show if the project status is complete. In this case, the project status drop-down box is called DRP Proj Status. So I'm referring to the value in that drop-down box. And you can see I've got a little animation here where it shows the project status. Let's see, is it doing it? Yeah, there it goes. Yeah. So in this case, the hours used field is only going to show if the project status is complete. So you can see as soon as I change it to complete, hours used, the whole card just appears. And when I change it to something else, the whole hours used card disappears. So I did the visible property on the actual hours used, that whole card. You can do the visibility property on any of the controls in the card. You don't have to select the whole card. You can use the visibility. I use it all the time when I want to have pop-up boxes or dialog boxes or just things appearing and disappearing according to different conditions. So visibility is a huge thing that I use a lot in just every single form that I do. So that's the logic that you need to do, is just make sure that you're in the visibility property. You're in, see, visible is the property that you're using, and then the result needs to equal true or false. All right, so here, now this next concept, we talked about the visibility property, so this next concept is the how to reference a field value. So when I reference a field value, I can, let me go back a little bit here. Got these animations in here. There are several methods. I can look at the selected item in a gallery, but that won't work on new items. So I can say, you know, which item am I currently looking at? If I clicked on it from a gallery, then that's how I'll know what the field values are. I can also reference this item, dot, name of a property, but that doesn't work dynamically. And what a lot of you are going to want is for when I change the project status, things, right when I change it, things appear and disappear, and it's interactive, right? It's instantaneous. So the field value in a control is the best way to accomplish that. Now here's the way the syntax looks. So I have a drop-down called DRP project status. If the project status selected value equals complete, now the reason I have the dot selected dot value is because it's a drop-down box. If it was something else like a text box, I could just do dot text. So depending on the type of control you have in PowerApps, this syntax will look a little different. But this is a drop-down. I say the value equals complete. If it's complete, then true. So true means it's going to be visible. Otherwise, false. So this is how I can accomplish that whole card disappearing and reappearing. All right, now another big common thing that we do in our forms is not only have required fields, which you can set whether they're required from within SharePoint, but have them be required only under a certain condition. So this is an actual card property. This isn't a property that exists on text boxes and drop-down boxes. So when you select the hold card and you go to the required property, this is another Boolean. So this is always going to be true or false. And again, same exact concept. If statement is very powerful. You can use an if statement to set conditional required fields. So if the estimated cost is greater than 5,000 here in this example, then the manager field is required. So I didn't make the manager field required inside of SharePoint. I'm only going to make it required under a certain condition. They won't be able to submit the form. They'll get an error if they try to submit a form and it doesn't pass validation. So if the cost is greater than 5,000, then the manager field is required. When it's required, the little asterisk, you see how one of the fields here has the little asterisk at the top left? When you set it to required, the asterisk will automatically appear. And when they try to submit the form, if it doesn't pass that validation, it will get an error, and the little error under the field will automatically appear as well. All right, let's go ahead and I've got a demo of logic in forms. Okay, so this is the form that I just created in the demo a second ago. I'm going to fast forward to this one, which is the exact same thing I created before the session started, that I've just already got a couple of buttons on here. So this button at the top, on select, it does a new form. And this button down here, on select, it submits the form. So that when I try it out, I could actually try it out here in this little preview mode and do a new form and submit the form. So I'll go ahead and fill one out for fun. And you can see my required field up here. I'll pick a customer and a project that this issue is associated with. And I just put this form on just created this app, so it's not going to have any logic in it yet. This date picker is so slow. We were actually talking about how painful the date picker is. Do some priority, status, and submit it. And it's sending it to SharePoint. So what we'll do, so now I've got nothing here. I'd have to click New Issue to send that new form command to this screen, to the form control. By default, it just named my form control Form 1. Just best practice is to give them more useful name. Form, edit, issue. I'll just say form issue. Issue form. Form issue form. There we go. And then, so what I want to do is I'm going to take the date completed field. And when someone changes the status to complete, I want the date completed field to appear. So let's see, the task status completed is the word that I'm looking for. So I select this whole card, date completed, and go to the visible property. And looks like the visible property is not even locked. So I don't even have to unlock this card in order to work with putting some logic in the visible property. So watch, if I just type false, if I just type false, see the whole thing just disappears. Wait a minute, how do I get to a card to edit it if I've made it disappear? That's a little tricky. That's one of those things where this pane down the right side is very useful to have to be able to find things and select them after you've made them disappear. That's like next level right there. So I want to put some logic on this. So I'm going to look at the task status. Now this is going to have some ugly name here. Yeah, data card value 9. I'm going to call it DRP for dropdown, DRP task status. And so I'll give it a nice, I like to give things nice names, especially when I use them in my formulas. It makes it make sense to me. So if the value in this dropdown is completed, then I want my date completed to appear. So if DRP task status dot selected. Now, not selected items. Selected items would be if you were allowing people to select multiple things in the dropdown. This is not that in the case. In this case, they're just selecting one. So if the dropdown task status selected value equals completed, then true, otherwise false. All right, so it disappears. Let's try that out. Not started, it's not there. Completed, it appears. There it is. So that's just the simple way of doing visibility. We can also make it required if the task status is completed. Keep in mind, just a kind of a side note about required, if you've already customized your form with PowerApps and you go back into your list settings and you start changing whether things are required or not, and settings, and PowerApps is not necessarily going to know that. So you could have to maybe start your form all over and do a new one if you change enough, or you would have to go to that card After you've made the field required in SharePoint, go to that card and go to the required field and manually change that to true here, just because you don't want to have errors with people not being able to submit something because they didn't fill it in and PowerApps doesn't know it's required. Okay, so we'll use this same field, the date completed. So this logic is going to be exactly the same. I'll go to the required property on the card. I have to unlock the card over here. And instead of required being false, it's going to only be required if the value I select is completed. So now let's go change it to something else and then change it to completed. And now it not only does it appear, but it has a red an asterisk next to it. And the asterisk is a really tiny little control in here. See, it's called star visible. Each of these cards has several controls inside of them, and that is one that is already programmed to appear when required is true. All right, and then let's go fill out a form and look at what error it gives me. Let's see, I'll just do test and submit. Okay, an entry is required or has an invalid value. Please correct and try again. And that's the error message. So this little error message is actually part of this card. So it says the text equals parent.error. So the parent is the card, and error, it's not the error on the card. It's basically, it's built into the form. So you have to like go up another. So these are all things that are going to be editable. You could go in here and change what this text says. Instead of it being parent.error, you can make it say something custom if they don't fill it in. All right, I'm going to go ahead and move on. All right, we've done a little bit of submitting a form. We have some form logic you can do when you submit forms. When you customize a SharePoint list form, it already has a save button. It's already built in. But when you are starting from scratch, doing it the more advanced way and just inserting a form control, it's not automatically going to have a submit button. You can use anything you want as a submit button, a button, an icon, a shape. The property called onSelect, I think, pretty much exists for every type of control. So anything in your Power App, you can make it be a button. OnSelect means when somebody clicks that control. So onSelect, what do you want to happen? Submit form, and then you have to say the name of that form control, and then what? So when I first started doing these, I started doing the way I did it in InfoPath was I would just say submit the form, then do this, set a value, and all the things in a row. But you probably don't want it to send the email or go back or navigate away if they had a validation error, if the form submission was not successful. So you don't want to do submit form and then immediately navigate. Because if that happens, if they submit the form and didn't fill out a required field and get an error, they won't even see it. You won't know. And you'll just sit there wondering why their data didn't appear in SharePoint. So the best practice here is to, instead of using the button, you just make the button do submit form. Then the whole form control has a property called onSuccess. So you go to the onSuccess property, and that way you can say, okay, what do we want to happen after the form has successfully been submitted? And that's where you can do things like navigate somewhere, go back, set a variable, send an email, all of the above, and go ahead and use that property to make sure that you're not going to get caught with forms not successfully being submitted and not knowing about it. So next we're going to talk a little bit about galleries, because when you need to edit existing forms, you need to know how the gallery can take you to the existing form in an edit mode. That's another sort of piece of logic, piece of the puzzle that needs to exist. So of course, galleries are displaying a list of records. You have to go out of your way to connect a gallery to the form. The form is not automatically going to know which item you've selected in the gallery. So you can create an edit button inside of the gallery and edit the form and also navigate to the screen the form is on. This last thing is the important part. So the form knows which item you need to be editing. You go to that item property of the whole form control. And you have to, if you're going to base this on what they've selected in a gallery, in this case, my gallery is a list of expenses. So it's gallery expense detail. So it's gal expense detail dot selected. So the item equals gal expense detail dot selected, and that will give me, that will know which item I'm editing when I go edit that item. All right, I'll do a demo of connecting a form to a gallery, and I'll show you my pretty little, let's see, here we go. Can't have a PowerApps session and not show you a pretty little app. So this is my customers and projects. So you can see I've got customers, I can click to select a customer. It takes me directly to the list of projects for that customer. And then I have time entry where I can go fill in a new timesheet for it. It passes the name of that project to my time entry form. And I have some logic on the color here. So I say, basically, if I've gone over the hours for that project, it turns red. So just pretty much sky's the limit. I'm not even that creative of a person, and PowerApps gives you a lot of ways that you can make your apps look very cool. I'm always looking at the other apps on my phone and apps that I think are pretty, and then trying to replicate the, kind of the way things look in my PowerApps. Okay, so let's go ahead and go back to, this is the one that I've been demoing in a lot of the screenshots here is this project form. All right, that is one way that your apps can look very cool. Let's go back to this, and I'm going to add a new screen, and I'll just do a blank screen, and I'll put a gallery on there. I'll just let it start with a template and put some stuff in here. Go to my issue list, and it automatically guesses at a couple of fields. I do not have an image of my issues, so I just deleted the image control. And of course, it's referencing the image control that I just deleted and a couple of these other controls. It's basing their width off of it. So you got to go kind of edit those. All right, look at all this popping up, taking up the entire screen. Okay, so here is, it's going to be a list of my issues. And this is the issue list, this is the gallery. I've got what is the field, so this is the title of the item in the list. And then this is automatically defaulted to some ID field. So when I can say this item and pick something else, like date completed. All right, and then what I'm trying to get at here is the fact that I can make this button take me to the form and make me edit that particular item. Let's go ahead and we'll put this logic in here, and then we'll add a couple of more items so that we can see it working. Okay, so on select, I want to do a edit form of my issue form and navigate to screen 1. It helps to name your screens too. Okay, and then the other piece that I have to know is that I need it to, the form has no idea. It doesn't know what item that I need to be editing. So that's the last piece that's missing in the edit command. So I'll go to item here, and then that's where I have to look at what I name my gallery. I'll call it gal issues. And then my item is going to refer to gal issues.selected. So now the form magically knows what issue that I've selected when I clicked on it. So I'll do new issue, I'll fill out one more, and just fill in a couple of things, submit, and go back. Now, I didn't put any navigation. Notice that I didn't put any navigation that takes me to the other screen. So again, I'm still working on this. So to get to the other screen, I actually have to just go back into design mode and click on it. So one of the next things you would do would be to create buttons or icons throughout your app to navigate people to where they need to be. So now when I click test 2, that's the one I just created, it knows that I'm editing test 2. So that's how you can connect your form with your gallery so that you can send it a view form command or send it an edit form command. And that is actually it. So let me go back to here. Don't forget you can email me at laura.rogers@iwmentor.com to get this slide deck sent to you. And I appreciate you all coming, and I hope you fill out your evaluations. Thanks. And wait, put the audio back on. Okay, so we can do Q&A now, though, too, since there's no other session in this room. So, but feel free to go if you don't have any questions. I think that those mics back there are what you would use if you had questions. No questions? Yeah? Okay.
I noticed that sometimes we noticed with the date picker as well, the performance in PowerApps is not always as optimal. Are there any tips or best practices on that area that you could share?
He's asking about just performance in general in PowerApps. There are some things that have to do with the quantity of data that you're returning depending on what you're doing in your app. And some things like the date picker the date pickers just, it seems like it's always like that. So sometimes, and my husband Chris is right here, he was just complaining about the date picker the other day too. He's just like, I'm going to create my own date picker. I'm going to create something from scratch and just make it faster and make it, a little bit nicer. But as far as performance, it's going to be a matter of, they have the checker now, the app checker is actually going to give you heads up about things. And performance is one of the things that they have just announced that they have really been working on, performance in general. But it all depends on your quantity of data. Sometimes it's a matter of you need to go collect and get, use collections in your app. That's a lot more advanced concept. Or, and have filtered lists of things. But it all really depends on the exact thing that is causing performance issues. So It depends. All right, yes?
Questions. First one is that, let's say we have developed an app for mobile layout, but my client wants to see that on their desktop as well. They think that, the mobile layout is not good. How will we approach that? The second one is for offline mode. So connecting an application to SharePoint or direct data source to push data is fine. But if we are in a field where we are collecting data and we have to push data to multiple sources, Flow is one thing which I can think of through which we can send it. What are the other ways which you will suggest?
So the first question was about, say that again.
First question was about, we have an app on mobile.
Oh, okay, so the mobile question is, you can't take an app and make it be both mobile and tablet size. What I usually do is I usually just create a tablet size app. And because you can use that on mobile as well, I create it as tablet size. And then when people use it on mobile, they can simply turn their screen sideways and use it that way. But they don't give you a way to have like 2 different sizes of the same app. So you'd either have to do that or just create 2 different apps.
Can we force the app on the mobile?
Yes, you can force the orientation. So your next question was about the offline. There's actually a command called save data, and a function called save data, and Microsoft has written a couple of pretty extensive blog posts on how to do that with the offline use using that command. The problem with that is it's not compatible with the web version of the form, so it would only be for mobile, so that's where it gets a little tricky, but Microsoft has documented that. I haven't personally dealt with it, though. Okay. Are you next?
I was wondering if you use the common data service as a data storage at some point.
If I use what? Oh, the common data service? Common data service is one of those things that as consultants, most of our customers are pretty small businesses and they can't afford the common data service because it costs so much extra. So we haven't used the common data service much. I would prefer it because of the performance of that compared to SharePoint. It's much faster to get the data, et cetera, but I haven't personally used it.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Are you next? Okay.
Hi. On the Navigate, there's a fade and something else for the transitions. What do they actually do?
The fade, when you click on the Navigate, just kind of visually, it fades to the next screen. The one called Cover, you see like a visual kind of flipping. It's like you're turning a page. And
I haven't noticed any of those.
yeah, I mean, I've seen them do that. Like, I'm not sure what to tell you, but yeah, that's what they're supposed to do. Yeah, maybe it's just happening so fast that it's not really obvious. But yeah, that's what they are.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So when you save an item, can you change the permission of it, like to break inheritance?
Ooh, PowerApps doesn't directly have anything very obvious about changing permissions. I think you'd have to really get into, maybe Flow would give you ways to do that, but PowerApps itself doesn't. It lets you look at what permissions the currently logged in user has on that item, but it doesn't let you change them.
Gotcha. That's what I figured.
Yeah, okay.
We're using on-prem yet. Is it going to be supported with 2019?
PowerApps, is it going to be on-prem? I don't think so.
Only online?
I think it's only online, and you'd have to have a hybrid environment to be able to use it. I haven't heard them say anything about it going on-prem.
All right. And then also, can you have more data sources, multiple data sources, and pull from other lists? Like
Yes,
this
you
lookup?
can have 100. We did one the other day that had like 60, 70 data sources in it. Yeah, we can have a lot of in one app.
All right, cool. Thank you.
All right. All right. Hey, you got one more?
I have a lot of questions, so it's more of a conversation. Well, the first thing that popped out at me was someone was asking about SharePoint and CDS versus, I mean, does SharePoint still have that like 5,000 limitation on lists and stuff? Is that still a thing?
They keep saying that they're improving the SharePoint list limitations, but PowerApps has a limitation, and it's like a max of 2,000 that you'd be able to
Like on a
pull in and
gallery?
show in a gallery. Yeah.
Right. And why would you want to see more than that?
Right. Yeah.
But when you're adding, records to something, you're going to pass 5,000 real quick. Any medium-sized company. So, my question is, I have a medium-sized company, and I want to start with a database, not a SharePoint list. So, if I have just a table in SQL Server, how do I just create that form from it? The way you did it from SharePoint was beautiful, but.
Oh, well, you would pull it in as a data source, and
Okay.
the problem with that is the permissions. Then you'd have to open up your database to let everyone edit it.
And that's, I did my first Power Up about a year ago, and that's what stopped me. And that's never going to change. I can't give the user access to my SQL Server
Right.
in Azure.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, yeah, so I heard someone's talking the other day about writing a custom web service to do that, but then PowerApps doesn't do web
So-
services, but Flow
But
does.
Power Apps can drive a flow, and the flow could
Yeah,
do the web
do
service.
a web service,
And I
yeah.
have done one of those too, and
Oh,
it works
yeah,
quite
that's-
well.
that's what you
Then
would
I
do.
don't expose it.
See, you already knew.
But I want to create the form without
Yeah,
having to do a
so
lot
the
of work.
form, you can make the form trigger a flow, technically.
No, I need the database table to create a form. You see what I'm saying? So I don't have to start from scratch.
Oh, yeah.
Question. So I have a data source, but that's the only way to do
You
it.
just want to save some time and have the form control have
Yeah.
all the, oh, yeah.
That's
No, you might have to do patch.
So my second question is about validation. Like I saw the required, that's neat. A year ago when I was building my first form, I don't think that was there. Maybe it was, maybe I missed it. But I didn't see any of those like functions Like if I want to validate it's an email or a number or a var, alphanumeric. You see what I'm saying?
No,
Are there
yeah, anything besides required or not is not, they don't have little built-in things kind of like InfoPath
gotta write
had
the
with
logic.
the regex expressions, but you could build a formula technically to kind of break down the string and see if something contains something, but that would just be from scratch.
Okay. And
Chris
that was
is
the other
nodding,
pain
he's like,
point I
yeah,
had.
that's what I would do.
That was the other pain point I had, a year ago when I delved into this. It was like, okay, well, that's kind of a showstopper too. I can't have a business user needing to do that. I was trying to get some business.
Yeah,
users
that's
to
true.
adopt
They
it.
are trying to do so much to try and make it more approachable for
Just
that
a
audience.
checkbox that says validate it's an email address or validate that there's only a number here.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'll
it's
tell
not a lot-
Microsoft that next time I talk to
It's
them.
not a lot of code, but it's kind of a pain.
Yeah.
And so you submit the form, and then you run your validation code, and then you do this. You call the success or something. So, because you have to tell it whether it's successful or not. Once you
Well, with
Would
the
be before the
required
form
field, it's
submit,
with
right?
the required property, it's automatically going to know. You don't have. That's not a separate command. You have to.
But I'm saying if I'm doing my own validation, my custom validation,
Oh, yeah.
I have to run that code before I submit the form, right?
Well, you would have you would have that as part of your required property and do an if statement in it with all that complexity in it.
Yeah.
Make the required equal true or false, and then, oh yeah, no, I don't know.
That wouldn't work.
Chris is trying to.
Can I just email you guys? Okay. Yeah, okay. Okay, if it passed the validation function, whatever I
Yeah.
defined. Okay. Yeah,
He's telling him to use a variable.
okay, and then you say true or false or whatever.
Yeah, we can. Chris and I can just chat with you after. Yeah, I think. Does anybody else? You have a question? Yeah.